All right. Shalom. Shalom. We the brothers of Great Millstone, Church of Birmingham, Alabama. And as always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, that would be the correct name of the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit. I also want to give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, you brothers out there laboring in His work. Continue pushing out this gospel in all true faith and sincerity, as well as you believers out there, the Akim and the Aqua, the brothers and sisters alike, that subscribe to this truth as well. So this sitting right here is going to be centered around, the topic of this lesson is going to be centered around World War III, all right? As it is written, you know, World War III, this war on a global scale in relation to the scriptures. And as you see this swarm of activity, you know, amidst all the drama that's taking place, George Floyd, you know, justice for George, and riots and protests, stimulus checks, and coronavirus outbreaks, right? Guess what? World War III is fast approaching, man. Okay, this is going to be the end all be all. This is going to be the exclamation point, if you will. It is a very important prophecy, and one of the main prophecies. Why? Because it's going to actually usher in the return of our Lord Yahweh Shah. All right, our Lord is going to return simultaneously in World War III. All right, because World War III, as we know, is going to be a global destruction. Not saying the planet Earth is going to be destroyed in its entirety, but this war is going to affect the entire planet Earth, and it's going to be a very catastrophic destruction, which is going to bring our Lord Yahweh Shah to return to deliver us or pluck us from that destruction. All right, so this lesson right here is going to be centered around that and the importance of keeping that in mind. You know, not being swayed or being moved off your square and losing sight of what's approaching. All right, this is what the Lord is really preparing, man. This drama, okay, which is well documented all throughout the scriptures. And this is how the Lord is going to take down the so-called white man. Again, you got these guys out there in their rebuttal, if you will, to us in the doctrine that we teach, which is centered around war. Matter of fact, give me Jeremiah the 28th chapter, because it's not as if we just speaking some far-fetched idea. What we saying, it actually can be filtered through the scripture. It actually is in harmony with the scriptures, right? So you got these guys who marvel at these teachings. You know, what manner of teachings are these when you say World War III is, and you merit that with the scriptures? Well, it's the doctrine, man. That's right. All right? Go ahead.
Kind of Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war.
See, of what?
Of war.
Of war. So this shouldn't be something you should marvel at. This is not some concept that should be hard to digest, some far-fetched idea. Read it again, huh?
It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
Right, and that's what we're doing. We prophesy against many countries. Go ahead.
And against great kingdoms.
And great kingdoms. And not America would be considered a great kingdom. You damn right. All right? But we prophesying against America. Go ahead.
Of war.
Of war. And we telling you that the fate of America is destruction. And it's going to come by way of this third world's war. When the smoke cleared and dust settled, this place is going to be wasted. It's going to be left totally desolate. All right? Go ahead.
It says of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Of war and of evil and of pestilence. So again, when we teach the idea of World War III, we filter it through the scriptures. You shouldn't stumble at that. You shouldn't marvel at that if you truly understood the scriptures. All right? So
I got something.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Isaiah 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood.
Right, and that's the prophet Isaiah giving you a vivid illustration of how wars was fought in the past. You know, it was with confused noise, meaning you heard the sound of swords and shields and javelins, all right, spears and arrows. See, it was more of a up close and personal, damn near hand-to-hand combat, right? That's why I'm saying garments rolling in blood. See, go ahead.
It says, but this.
But what?
But this.
But this, go ahead.
Shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
But this war is going to be with burning and fuel of fire. See, you got to ask yourself, what the hell the word fuel? If you're really paying attention, you would ask yourself, what the hell is the word fuel doing in the Old Testament, in the book of Isaiah, the 9th chapter and the 5th verse, man? Well, we know why, okay? That's the scriptures showing you that this takedown of the so-called white man is going to come by way of a more modern war, all right? Which is going to be, the driving force behind this war is going to be in the form of what we know as missiles, and in particular ICBM missiles, which is an acronym for intercontinental ballistic missiles, meaning these missiles can travel from continent to continent. All right? Got some?
Yeah, I got that word fuel in the blue letter. So it just said fuel, so I just looked it up, and it says fuel materials such as coal, gas, or oil.
Oh, give me Isaiah the 54th chapter.
Yep.
Right? Go ahead, continue.
It said materials such as coal, gas, or oil that is burned to produce heat or power, short for nuclear fuel.
Ooh, hey, with that, you want to give all credit. Hey, man, come on, man, read that again.
God,
that's bad. I never looked that word up, you know? But when he was reading, I was thinking in my mind, look that word up, you know, in the Hebrew, right? Go ahead, read that again.
It said materials such as coal, gas, or oil that is burned to produce heat or power, short for nuclear fuel.
And that's the spirit, because tonight, you know, we're going to present some information, you know, we want to share with you brothers and sisters out there in the form of a video clip, and it's going to show you the difference, if you will, the extreme difference between atomic bombs and nuclear bombs. And that's what the scripture's saying right here. This is a nuclear weapon. Read that one more time.
It said materials such as coal, gas, or oil that is burned to produce heat or power, short for nuclear fuel.
Right, short for nuclear fuel. See that? So now, give me Isaiah 54.
Okay, this is the book of Isaiah 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that brought the coals and the fire.
Right. See, we just looked at that word coal for nuclear. So that's going into all the different. You know, you got these scientists that splash these different atoms that come together with this formula to create this weapon of mass destruction. That's what the Lord is saying right here. If Red will understand it, read it again.
It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that brought the coals and the fire."
Right, and that smith right there would be the blacksmith. Okay, which the modern day smith come in the form of these scientists. Go ahead.
It says, "And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work."
Yeah, they're bringing forth an instrument for his work. See, go ahead.
"And I have created the waster to destroy."
And I have created the waster to destroy. So you got to ask yourself, what is this waster right here? Well, that waster is symbolic to those ICBM missiles. That's what the Lord created to destroy. Okay. Now, you might have someone to say, well, hold up. Why would the Lord create a weapon to destroy when he have all these things at his disposal, whether it's in the form of lightning and tsunamis, hurricanes and earthquakes, you know? Well, guess what? It's a method to that madness, if you will. The Lord created this waster to destroy so he could bring about his justice against the so-called white man. The Lord's going to take this man down by way of the same way he came into power. You got that?
Yeah,
and give me he that liveth by the sword.
Revelation.
Yep.
This Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein.
Right. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein. That pit right there would be symbolic to the weaponry of Esau. Okay. In the form of his weapons, this is how he seized control of the planet Earth. He dug a pit for all the nations by parading around his weaponry, his arsenal. You know, that's why he bombed those goops. And they said, well, matter of fact, give me that. He causes fire.
That's same. Yeah, that's same.
The same. Okay, come.
I think it's like 12, 13.
Come. This is the book of Revelations 12 and verse 13. Revelations 13 and verse 13 is like it. It says, "And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven."
What is that talking about? Is that talking about who is that? Is that the spirits of being sent? Is that the devil who you was your pastors and preachers packaged to you and presented to you? Was that him? Did he ever make fire fall from the sky? Read that again.
This is the book of Revelations 13 and verse 13. "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven."
And that's talking about Esau, which we just briefly touched on, Hiroshima. All right? Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. When these devils dropped those atomic bombs, I think it was Fat Boy and Skinny Boy, on those two countries, man. Right? Well, that was this prophecy being fulfilled, along with other different airstrikes this man has performed throughout the world, which the media are not going to tell you everything this devil has done in his pursuit of power, man. When you go back to Desert Storm, they had a phrase, bombs over Baghdad, where these devils was dropping, bombs, fire from heaven. See, read it again.
Because this book of Revelation 13 and 13,
Mm-hmm.
and he doeth great wonders,
Yep.
so that he make a fire come down from heaven
Mm-hmm.
on the earth in the sight of men.
Right, in the sight of men. And that's why the scriptures say, who can make war with the beast, man? Because everybody saw that, and they was like, oh, shit, they took a step back. This devil ain't playing. All right? So now you can go back.
Kind of Proverbs 26:27. It said, whoso dig with pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone,
Right, and he that rolleth a stone, go ahead.
it will return upon him.
So now, again, if you read the scriptures with understanding, you'll know that that's talking about his airstrikes. When you roll something down on somebody, that's a aerial attack. So the scriptures say, he that rolleth a stone, right,
Mhm.
which that stone is somebody to his missiles,
Yep.
see, or his weaponry, whether it was the atomic bomb or these nuclear bombs or different, you got these fighter jets. That's those stones him rolling down on you. So the scriptures say, he that rolleth a stone, that same stone is going to return upon him. So the Lord and his justice, man, same way.
Let's see.
Yep.
God, this is Revelations chapter 18 in verse 21. You going? All right, kind of like Revelation 18 and 21. It says, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone,
Yep.
and cast it into the sea,
Yep.
saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown
So
down.
that's that stone. That's the
Mhm.
weaponry, man.
Yep.
Okay. So this man's going to be taken down by the very same means he came into power. That's what you call justice. He that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword. Okay. This man was given a great sword, and by that same sword, he's going to fall. All right. So you
Let's see. I got a quick. Let's see. This is
I know that one.
Psalm 7. Let's see. This Psalm chapter 7, and I started verse 12. It said, I started at 11. It said, the Most High judge the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
Mm-hmm.
If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready.
Mm-hmm.
He have also prepared for him the instruments of death.
Right. So the Lord have prepared the instruments of death for this devil.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors.
He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Now, real quick, when you look up that word arrow, do you got it on deck?
I can get it.
Let's look up this word arrow real quick. All right. We're going to show you why the Lord have chose for war to be the way the so-called white man come out of power. Because again, this is how he came into power, man. Right? By way of war. All right. Does not the scripture say war was in his heart? Yeah, meaning this is the only way this man can rationalize out anything. This man has never diplomatically sat down and worked out nothing. He pursued everything, his desires. It was all driven by war. Okay, it was by way of war. Right. So you got that?
This is the word.
Right before you get it, read the precept one more time.
This is Psalms chapter 7 and in verse 13. It said, he have also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained of his arrows against the persecutors.
So the Lord have ordained his arrows against the persecutors. What are these arrows? Well, let's find out. Go ahead.
This is arrows from Merriam-Webster.com.
Now, this is the definition for arrows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It said a missile shot.
A what?
A missile shot.
A what?
A missile shot from a bow.
A missile shot from a bow, man. All right? So all you guys out there who can't somehow grasp the idea of the Lord taking down the so-called white man in World War III, well, we showing you, we giving you clarity, you know?
Yep.
We showing you right here. Read it again, huh?
It said a missile.
This is the definition for what?
Arrow.
Right, go ahead.
it says a missile shot from a bow and usually having a slender shaft.
Why in the hell is the word missile right there for arrow, man? See? It shows you that the Spirit of the Lord is behind this. And we're in a time now where things are being made manifest.
That's right.
You know, things are being brought to the forefront. You know, prophecy is taking center stage, and your vain opinions no longer matter, man. It's being thrust to the back seat. And prophecy is beginning to lay hold on the planet Earth. So that word arrow actually means missile, man. See that? So the scripture said the Lord have ordained his arrows for this devil. That's justice. That's the Lord taking his man out by the same way he came into power. You know, it's an old saying, the same steps you walk on your way up, you got to walk on the same steps on the way down, man. Right? And that's justice. See that? You getting a precept?
Oh, yeah, matter of fact, I'm jump down to Psalm 7 and I'm starting verse 15. He had made a pit and digged it, and it's fallen into the ditch which he made.
Right. So this devil, he digged a pit. He set snares for the world by way of his weapons. But now he's falling in that same snare. Do you know you got India with goddamn ICBM missiles? You know? Matter of fact, give me Joel the 3rd chapter. You got all these different nations that's possessing weapons. Matter of fact, real quick, give me Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Whoever can get it quick. Ezekiel the 38th chapter. And I believe that's they handle it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You know? So Esau is not the only one with the weaponry, man. See? The Lord have leveled the playing field. All right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, you got it. Give me that, Jordan.
Yeah, this is Ezekiel 38 in verse 4. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
All of them what?
Handling swords.
Handling swords, meaning all of these different nations now possess nuclear capability, man. So all these nations is handling swords now, you know? And that's why these devils have fallen into the same snare, the same pit that they dug. Now the Lord has leveled the playing field. All right, so give me what you got.
Okay, this is the book of Joel 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles.
Right, which is the other nations. Go ahead.
Prepare war.
See, prepare war. Did not we just read what the Lord said? He'll prepare and ordain arrows for this devil. Go ahead.
Wake up the mighty men.
Right, and that's dealing with all these militaries. See, that's the vibration on the planet Earth right now. War. Go ahead.
Let all the men of war draw near.
Go ahead.
Let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords.
Right, beat your plowshares into swords, meaning all your resources, flip it into your weaponry. See, read that again.
It says, beat your plowshares into swords.
Go ahead.
And your pruning hook into spears.
And those swords and those spears right there are metaphors for these nuclear weapons, man. All right, go ahead.
Let the weak say, I am strong.
That's why you got these different nations, you know, bolstering themselves. You got Pakistan, motherfucker, Elon with some sandals on, with goddamn ICBM missiles, man, right? So that's the weak saying that they strong. You go back 20, 25 years, a lot of these nations, North Korea, a lot of these nations would have never came up against America. But now they got the same weaponry as America. So that's why the scripture, read that again up.
This is
9 and 15?
Yeah, this is Psalm 7:15. He had made a pit and digged it, and it's fallen into the ditch which he made.
Right, so his same weaponry he made, you know, the same pit he dug to trap the nations, right? Matter of fact, give me Revelation 6 and 4. Let's see what that pit is, man, which he made. Let's see what this man hang his hat on. You know, where he put his stock into. Let's see if he really trusts in the Most High, or is it, you know, his resources, or let's see what this man really trusts in and believe in. Go ahead.
Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red,
which is Esau. Go ahead.
And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Yeah, that's when you get your World War I and World War II. He took peace from the earth. See? Go ahead.
And that they should kill one another.
And they should kill one another. World War I, World War II, the Civil War. Go ahead.
And that was given unto him a great sword.
Given unto him a what?
A great sword.
And that great sword, see, it didn't say sword right there. it said a great sword, because when you go into the history, they actually had swords. Then they stepped it up to guns. Now they have SAR bombers. If you haven't heard of that, we're going to show you what that is, man. All right, and the damage it can do. But who possessed that? Esau. That's that great sword. But he was given power to take away peace from the earth. Which, by the way, go ahead and give me that information you got.
I can.
And this right here, man, this is real interest. This should pique your interest. This raises eyebrows. Go ahead.
This is just an article from Freakonomics. It says this morning I have discovered an interest.
Read the top of it.
Okay, it says the U.S. has been at war 222 out of 239 years.
Read that again. Let's let that sink in. Read this again.
It says the U.S. has been at war 222 out of 239 years.
So out of 239 years, the so-called white man in the form of America has been at war 222 of those 239 years, right? So that's why this scripture right here should make sense. Go ahead.
Revelation 64, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
See, to what?
To take peace from the earth.
Right, that's what we're reading right here. Out of 239 years, 222 occupied by war, man. Right? That proves this book, the Bible reigns supreme, man. All right? Go ahead,
It says this morning I have discovered.
We ain't got to go too much in because the headline speaks for itself. You know, I just wanted to get this right here, and we'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
It says America has been at war 93%.
Come on, man. Come on, man. That's staggering numbers, man. All right? Now you think we crazy now? Are we those disgruntled guys looking for somebody to blame? No, man. We got the information to back it up, man. In which we don't need that. We got the scriptures, but this proves that this book is powerful, man. All right? So 93% of the time, this man has been in war. That's why we just read this man was given power to take peace from the earth. See? Go ahead, Al.
It says America has been at war 93% of the time, 222 out of 239 since 1776.
Since 1776. And that's really was when they was birthed as a nation, if you will, right? That's why scriptures say there's a time to be born and a time to die. That's when that's when the devil was born, you know, as far as the third part, you know, this third installment of the so-called white man in his reign of terror, right? And in this time, he was given that great sword. And you're going to see that great sword. The Lord's going to use that same sword to take this devil out. So that's pretty much it right there. All right, you got anything else over here? All right, come on, let's go back to music.
All right, yeah. Back in this Psalms, chapter 7 and verse 16, his mischief shall return upon his own head.
Right, his mischief shall return upon his own head, meaning it's going to be an aerial attack. What's his mischief? The missiles, man. You know, that's his mischief. See? Go ahead.
And his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate.
Yeah, and his violent dealings shall come down, see, upon his own pate. You got something else?
Yeah, kind.
Give me Isaiah 34 and 5. Go ahead.
This,
Matter of fact, we'll start at the top.
Psalm 9 and 16. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth.
Right. Go ahead.
The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands.
And what's the work of his own hands? These missiles, man. Because I forget who this guy who created the missile. I forget this guy's name.
Esau, what?
Yeah, his name was Esau. His name was Esau. Yep, the water. That's the spirit, right? And that goes back into these German scientists. When you go back into, I think like the end of World War II, you had a split. You had like the CIA, the KGB, and the KGB, they took certain scientists with them, which is Russia. And you had the CIA took certain scientists with them.
Project, play the clip. Project.
Yep. And we don't, and that's the spirit, because the clip we got, it show you that the two main countries, Russia and America, which that's that balance of power. Okay, the Lord is going to use Russia to take down the so-called white man. Matter of fact, you'll give me that real quick. Revelation 13 and 2.
Yeah.
This you got what you got, right?
God, this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 2. In the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Now, why did the scripture say this beast's feet was as the feet of a bear? When you consider your body, what's the end of your body? Your feet. So the Lord is saying right here, this bear Russia is going to be what's going to end this run of the so-called white man. He's going to take himself out, but it's going to be done by the bear Russia, right? And that's that feet. That's the end of this man's run. See that? Matter of fact, could you give me Matthew 24 and 31? Because you got to ask yourself, when do the bear come out of hibernation? In the summer. Now, when you go back to like the 80s, you had what? The Cold War. That's when the bear was hibernating. That's when America kind of took off and Russia was secluded, which I think at that time they had this guy, Mikhail Gorbachev. He was more West friendly. But the Lord raised up this other guy. I think you had Boris Yeltsin. He came after Mikhail Gorbachev, which Mikhail Gorbachev kind of got clicked up with Reagan. Then you had Boris Yeltsin, but now you got this guy Putin, which Putin is a beast, man. So that's the Lord putting them hooks back in their jaws, turning them back to that old cold Soviet Union. But the point is, in the Cold War, the bear was hibernating. But when do the bear come out? In the summer. Give me what you got.
Kind of St. Matthew 24 and 32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branches yet tender and put forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh.
You know that summer is nigh. So now we're in the summer, man. The bear is out. He's looking for blood. Now, it's not going to just be exclusively Russia. It tells you that Obadiah, where it says, those who eat of your bread, your confederate. It's going to be Russia to spearhead it, you know, along with its allies. And guess what? America allies are going to turn on her as well, man. You know, that's why the scripture says, spare no arrows. Right? Go ahead.
It says, so likewise, when ye shall see all these things.
Right. So now you see all this woman activity, all this stuff happening. Go ahead.
Know that it is near.
No, what is near? The dreadful day, World War III, man. That's near. You can't let that get lost in the shuffle. You know, amidst all the drama that's taking place, World War III. Every day the sunrise and the sunset, we're approaching World War III, man. We're approaching midnight. All right, go ahead.
It says, know that it is near, even at the doors.
Right. So yeah, give me what you got.
Come, this is the book of Isaiah 34 and verse 1. It says, come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people.
Yep.
Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations.
Yep, the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. Go ahead.
And his fury upon all their armies.
See, why is the word armies there? Because this fury is going to come in the form of World War III. This is how the Lord is going to act out his anger, man. By way of World War III. Remember, the Lord is known as a man of war, man. Right? Go ahead.
It says, he hath utterly destroyed them.
Right, and that's in past tense. So the Lord is so confident that he's going to destroy these mother. He already have utterly destroyed. It's already done, man. We're just waiting on it to play out. See? Go ahead, up.
It says, he hath delivered them to the slaughter.
See? Go ahead.
It says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses.
Go ahead.
And the mountains shall be melted with blood.
Right, they're going to be melted with blood, which that's going to create that lake of fire you read about in Revelation, the 20th chapter. You know, you got these Christians who say, you're going to go to the lake of fire. Well, you ask them, okay, when you read, what's that? I believe it's Revelation 20 and 18, or 18 and 21 of them, right? You say, well, hold up. If that's the lake of fire, why would you read that scripture? It say death and hell was cast in the lake of fire. That lake of fire is dealing with World War III. And the results of World War III. It's going to melt the elements. That's what the scripture's saying. Read that again.
Read it again. It's the book of Isaiah 34 and verse 3. It says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Yep, go ahead.
And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
Right, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's the scripture's giving you a vivid illustration of those mushroom clouds. All right, because once they detonate, hit ground zero, you see them sin, that smoke of sin, it's actually like a scroll, right? Go ahead.
Continuing on, it says, and their host shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Yeah, and those figs symbolizes the missiles. Go ahead.
Verse 5, it says, for
now people, the casual Israelite coming, they're gonna say these dudes crazy, man. You know, well, you're not gonna find the word missile in there. Neither will you find the word America, right? But does that mean America's not in the scriptures? You mean to tell me the most wickedest kingdom ever erected not going to be mentioned in the Holy Scriptures, man? Of course, man. Matter of fact, you give me Revelation 1 real quick up. All right? Because it was a method to why, see, the Lord showed the prophets of old these visions, and they had a limited vocabulary. But it was a method to that. Yep. So they could only explain it a certain way, and the only way you could get it, the Spirit had to be dealing with you. Let's simplify this. Let's say, like, if I send my 3-year-old kid who got a limited vocabulary and tell him, hey, tell your mom, let's go. We're going to go to the mall or whatever. They're going to go say it in a crazy way, man. They're not going to say it with they're going to say it with their limited little language. So that's how the Lord played it, man. He gave these great visions to the prophets of old so they can convey it to us, but they only had a limited vocabulary. Isaiah wasn't going to say, yeah, man, the ICBM missiles, man. See? That's why he used terminology for that time, arrows and swords and so forth. Right? Go ahead, give me what you got.
God, in Revelations 1 and 8, I'm Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending.
Yep.
Said the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come.
Yep.
Almighty.
See that? So, yeah, yeah, we bring that out too, brother. The brother put, if you look up the word arrow, it says missile. Yeah, we brought that out earlier, you know. But the scripture say the Lord is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, meaning what? He covers all sides of the spectrum. So you mean to tell me the Lord left out America? No, but you're not going to find the word America, right? That's what the Spirit got to kick in. See, that was it right there?
Yeah, kind of.
All right, so now let's go back.
This Isaiah 34 and verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
Hold up, my sword shall be bathed in heaven. So that sword right there is symbolic to the weaponry, and that show you is going to be an aerial attack. This is going to come from the heavens. So you see what we able to read the scriptures and filter it with current events. It's not like we read the sword in heaven and there's nothing we can compare it to. We compare it to the modern day weaponry, man. You think it's a coincidence that the Lord could have made these weapons come from anywhere, or made them go about their business, if you will, you know, and function way different than how they function now. How ironic they come from the heavens. The missiles come from the heavens, and we read it in the scriptures. See, go ahead.
It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
Go ahead.
Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
It shall come down upon who?
Idumea.
When you go into the word Idumea, that's a Greek word right there. For what? Edom, man. So the Lord said this sword is going to come down upon Idumea. Right? Read it again.
It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Now give me what you got.
God, this Psalm 7:16. His mischief shall return upon his own head.
See, shall come down upon him. Go ahead.
And his violent dealing shall come down upon his own page.
So come on, man. You can't get around it. All right. This is what the Lord has prepared for Esau. This is his judgment, man. And it's going to come by way of World War III. And World War III is a real thing. This is not just some figment of our imagination. Somebody give me that real quick in Revelation. Is that 11 and 14?
Yep, Con.
Get that real quick.
Con, this Revelations chapter 11 and 14. It said the second war is past.
Hold up. What is this talking about? Real talk. Now, when you go back into war on a global scale, you had 2 world wars. You had World War I and World War II. Now, what's the coincidence? We read in the scriptures and it's speaking concerning the second war. See, read that again.
God, Revelations 11 and 14 said the second war is past, and behold, the third war cometh quickly.
And the third war cometh quickly, which will be the war of all wars, which will be World War III. All right. So you got something?
Okay.
Go ahead and get what you got. Let's get this.
All right, God.
This is the book on 2 Ezra 16 and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, and they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
So we just looked up that word arrow, and it translates to missile. So the Lord said his arrows that he shoot, they're not going to miss when they shot throughout the world. And that shows you that that's symbolic. That's a metaphor right there. Because the literal arrow can't travel across the world. So that's dealing with the missile, and in particular the ICBM missile, which again is an acronym for intercontinental ballistic missile, meaning these missiles can travel from continent to continent.
Yep.
All right?
That's it.
So come on, let's get what we got.
All right, Con.
And get Joel second chapter on that.
All right, Con.
Ever since the first nuclear weapons test in the deserts of New Mexico and the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, nuclear weapons have become significantly more powerful. Since the first test in New Mexico by the United States in 1945, 2,475 nuclear weapons have been detonated across the globe. Over 85% of those detonations have come from only two countries, however, the United States and the former Soviet Union.
Now you can hit that up. Now, we just read in Revelation the 13th chapter how the feet of this place will be Russia, right? And that's what you would call a balance of power. You know, these two superpowers right here. But it's Esau. And that shows you that Esau is all war is in his heart. He can't even come together with his own people. You know, if you throw here it is, they was given the world and they fight like goddamn dogs, the dogs that they are.
Yep.
You know, if you throw a piece of steak out to some wild dogs, they're not going to diplomatically work it out. They're going to kick each other, they're going to tear each other up, rip each other apart for that steak. Now, if you will, could you go back a little more with some that I let pass that I wanted to kind of touch on? Where say, I believe it might touch more on it, but I heard it vaguely right here. I think it said these missiles have got more and more advanced or something.
That's from the jump. Man.
Okay.
Ever since the first nuclear weapons test in the deserts of New Mexico and the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, nuclear weapons have become significantly more powerful.
Okay, now let's go to Joel, the second chapter.
Con, this Joel chapter 2, and you can just start every time on it.
You know what?
20 verse 2. That was
well, yep. Start at the top, go to the point.
all right, Con.
That's beautiful.
All right, Con. This Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound alarm my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for his nigh at hand.
Yeah, you should be trembling, knowing what the Lord has prepared, right?
A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness.
Look at the monitor. Look at the monitor. So the scripture is crazy. So we the crazy Bible guys. We got the answers, man, through the spirit of power, Yahweh, by the spirit outside. Right. He go to cloud. Oh, and Esau, they know that this is a threat. You know, when you go into these different, you know, they have these things where ways the world can end and shit like that. And they said maybe it could be in the form of an asteroid, a meteorite. Then they actually entertained the idea of World War III.
I know there's multiple episodes on Twilight Zone about that.
But that's Esau's biggest fear.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Right? Yep. Well, hold up. We looking at a cloud, but you can't read this in the so-called Holy Quran, man. Right? Read this again.
God, it say a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness.
See that? Of thick darkness and clouds. Look at the clouds right there. Like we made this up. Like we had these people to say, you know what, we want y'all to concoct. We want y'all to test these missiles so we can, you know, add it to our arsenal. Yeah, go ahead.
It said, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not ever been the like, neither shall it be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
So yeah, read that again.
It said a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not ever been the like, neither shall it be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
Right. So that's concerning this weaponry. this great people and strong is dealing with these missiles. And there have never been none like these. And even after there'll never be the like. That's why we seeing in this clip where it say this technology has advanced.
Yep.
So the nuclear missile is something that you never saw before, and you'll never see it again.
Yep.
All right. So go ahead. Let's.
I got a quick.
You got something? Go ahead.
Because this is the book of Isaiah 13 and verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also.
Matter of fact, give Revelation the name chapter.
I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people.
See, so these missiles is as of a great people. See, go ahead.
It is a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts must with the host of the battle.
Yeah, so the Lord instigating all this. See that? Continue.
It says they come from a far country, from the end of heaven.
Right. This is going to be an aerial attack. Go ahead.
Even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Wetland, America. So the weapons of his indignation would be these missiles. Go ahead.
It says, how ye.
Well, that was it on that. Go give it.
God, this is Revelation 9 and 15. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men.
Right, and that's symbolic to Esau. See, that proves that this is how Esau going down.
That's it.
See, go ahead.
It said, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000.
Yeah, that's how many missiles that's coming, man. Yep, they're going to cover the sky. Go ahead.
And I heard the number of them. It said, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone.
Yeah, that's John describing them the best way he could. You know, breastplates, you know, they're dealing with the metal and you know how these missiles were made, the different colors of the missiles. Go ahead.
It said, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions.
Yeah, and that's symbolic to those nuclear warheads. Go ahead.
And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone.
See that? So now let's go back to this clip.
Since the first nuclear weapons test in the deserts of New Mexico and the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, nuclear weapons have become significantly more powerful. Since the first test in New Mexico by the United States in 1945, 2,475 nuclear weapons have been detonated across the globe.
Why?
Over 85% of those detonations have come from only two countries, however, the United States and the former Soviet Union. Only 2 of those thousands of detonations were ever used in a war, the ones dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II by the United States. But those bombs were very small compared to modern weaponry. The Hiroshima bomb produced an explosion of 15 kilotons, or 15,000 tons worth of TNT. The bomb dropped on Nagasaki had an explosion of 21 kilotons, but how much bigger can nuclear weapons possibly get? The answer is, terrifyingly, much bigger.
Yeah, hit that.
The largest.
Yeah, so that's why Scripture said, "Never been seen nothing such as the like, and you'll never see nothing like this again." See how bad the Scriptures is, man. See that?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, huh? Yeah, precept.
Nuclear weapon currently in the United States arsenal is the B-83, which can produce a blast of 1.2 megatons. To understand the scale from here out, 1 megaton is equal to 1 million tons of TNT, and that is equal to 1,000 kilotons. Remember that the Hiroshima blast was just 15 kilotons, so that means that the B-83 produces a blast 80 times more powerful than that. What I've been showing on this scale is only the size of the mushroom cloud that the bombs produced. So to further add to the scale, we're going to place the size of Mount Everest here,
now,
the average altitude of...
Now, could you go back to Joel, the 2nd chapter? Let's show you how bad the Lord is, man. You know how the Spirit works, right? Why is Mount Everest right there? Oh, which, by the way, if you can see that image of that plane, you know what? I ain't gonna jump the gun. Give me what you got real quick.
Joel 2:2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains.
Oh, what?
As the morning spread upon the mountains.
Right, meaning they're gonna, even though we know that those mountains is dealing with these different governments, right? From the symbolic gesture, because these missiles are gonna pass over these different countries coming here. But you see, why is it a mountain right there? Because these missiles is actually gonna, these mountains is gonna be dwarfed in comparison to the destruction of these missiles,
Kind.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a morning spread across the mountains. Go ahead.
It said there have not been ever the light, neither shall it be any more after it.
Right. So that's what the guy just said.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen nothing like this, man. Go ahead.
It said even to the years of many generations.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to jump down? They should leave over. That what you want?
That's what I
okay,
want.
kind of like yeah. This is Joel 2:5.
Matter of fact, continue from where you
Okay, kind. All right, verse 3. It says a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth.
Yep.
The land is as the garden of Eden before them.
Right, meaning this land is not touched. Go ahead.
And behind them a desolate wilderness.
Meaning after they touch down, after they hit ground zero, this place is going to be finished. Go ahead.
Yeah, and nothing shall escape them.
Yep, and that's what, you see that plane? See that plane? We're going to show you something too about that, how the spirit works. See that?
I see a glad.
Oh, hey. And that's just the B-83 bomb,
yep.
Right? And you see where the plane, and see, look, it says that's the average commercial airliner attitude, right? So if you try to get on a plane, don't even mention a helicopter. That proves that the only way out of here is what the world knows as UFOs, man. You can't get out of here no other way.
Yep.
Because even if you was on a plane, the B-83 is going to get you. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Continue,
It says the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses.
Yeah, we just read that in Revelation. What that was, 9th chapter.
Yep.
And
that horsemen, so shall they run.
Yep.
Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap.
Hold up. It said like the like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. Meaning this is going to be an area attack. You could be on Mount Everest, the biggest mountain I think on the planet Earth, right?
Yeah.
You could be on the top of Mount Everest. You're not going to get out of this. Only way out of here is through Yahweh Shah and the angels and the chariots, man.
That's right.
Okay. Matter of fact, let's prove that. Give me that real quick. Revelation.
Yeah, Con.
Give me that. Revelation 11 chapter.
Con. This is Revelations chapter 11, and I'm gonna start at verse 12. It says, and they heard a voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither.
Right, come up hither. Go ahead.
And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud.
Yeah, and that cloud is symbolic to what you know as a UFO, which is the chariots of the Most High. Go ahead.
And their enemies beheld them.
Yeah, you're going to see us getting out of this destruction. Go ahead.
And the same hour was there a great earthquake.
Simultaneously, the missiles was dropping. That's what it means when that was a great earthquake. When you go into the word earthquake, it literally means earth shake. The word quake goes back to shake. That links up to, is that Isaiah 24? Yep. Right? So we're going to get caught up in the cloud. Not in the airplane. You're not going to get out of here in the airplane. That's why the spirit got that image right there.
Yeah,
see how bad that is, man? So we crazy now, huh? We crazy when we talk about UFOs and we married it with World War III. That ain't crazy because you see that plane right there was set up for us to, use as a gauge, man. Right?
Quick precept. This is Revelation.
Because you can jump in your whip to flee from a shootout. Who know what? Well, when these bombs come in, you can't jump in that plane, you know? Yeah, go ahead.
Revelation 15:2. And I saw, matter of fact, I'm starting 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High.
Ooh.
And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the hearts of the Most High.
Yeah, that sea of glass symbolic to the ozone layer. We're going to be hovering over the earth, watching the destruction. That's why when you read Psalm the 91st chapter, it said, only with thine eyes thou shalt see the reward of the wicked. Right? So now, continue. Go ahead.
You got some more?
And I just thank you too, man. We got a lot of information. we need another couple hours. We need a whole other day, man. Yep. Go ahead. Did you have something?
Yeah, kind of had something.
Go ahead.
This the book of Psalms 18, part at 10, but I'm gonna start at verse 7. It says, the earth, it says, then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured coals was kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherubim and did fly. Yeah, he did fly upon the wings of the wind.
Yeah, and that's dealing with. You got it. Go ahead.
Going on. The only way we can get out is get on those chariots, man. You know, that's why it says it was under his feet. Going back to Revelation 15. You're gonna have to have that upper view to see the destruction of America, man.
That's right.
You know.
Yep. You got something else?
Oh no, I ain't got.
All right, come on, now let's play some more of this right here.
So to further add to the scale, we're going to place the size of Mount Everest here and the average altitude of a commercial airliner that you would normally fly on here. So, the Castle Bravo bomb is the largest nuclear weapon ever tested by the United States. It produced a blast of 15 megatons, or about 1,000 times the scale of Hiroshima. But even that pales in comparison to the largest nuclear weapon ever detonated. In October 1961, the Soviet Union created the largest man-made explosion ever in human history when they detonated this device known as the...
Now, definitely you can't get out of here with the airplane or anything of this realm. This is going to take divine intervention. That's why we know through the spirit of power, how about we teach is in harmony with the scriptures, man. Right? When this destruction comes, you got to get out of here by way of what the world knows UFO. And see, this right here is above the comprehension of man. Matter of fact, could you give me that Wisdom of Solomon real quick?
Let's see.
That's why you got to be given the gift of faith to come into this thing, man. You know, because those who don't believe in this, you don't believe, you limit the power of your how by smell shot. You don't understand the Lord is about to work. This is going to be the Lord's greatest work. This destruction and deliverance right here, man. So you think it's going to be something that you can wrap your mind around? No, man. See? Go ahead, huh?
Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for.
See that? So this salvation is going to be very strange. And it's going to take something strange to get you out of that. And it's not like, which by the way, that SAR bomber, right? That's just half of, go ahead, Al, you can explain that.
Oh, yeah, God. So that SAR bomber pretty much, that was half of they cut the ingredients in half pretty much. Really, that bomb really supposed to be 2 times bigger than what they tested out from the jump.
See that? That's the spirit of the Lord.
That's it.
Right?
Yep.
So all hell gonna break through those bombs. See, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's an afterthought down there. You could have escaped that with an airplane. See that? Because you see the altitude of the plane. Now you had to go to the highest altitude, right? But ain't no way out of it that was on the other side of that mountain. Oh, that's spirit. Come on, man. What's on the other side of that mountain is what the Lord had prepared. That's that great work that the Lord's going to use to take down Esau. All right. So you got something else? All right, come on, let's play a little bit of this. What number you at? Okay. We know what
Yeah, kind of.
Tsar Bomba, here over this territory known as Novaya Zemlya. The bomb detonated with an astounding force of 50 megatons, or about 3,333 Hiroshima blasts. It was so powerful that it almost destroyed the plane that dropped it, shattered windows as far away as Norway and Finland, and the shockwaves created by the bomb circled around the entire Earth 3 times.
Yeah,
but
see
this
that?
test was...
That show you right there that this is not just some idea we came up with, some elaborate scheme and plot we came up with, just to make a splash, like create some shock value. No, man, this is information right here that shows you that this doctrine that we teach is what the Lord has prepared. This is his beautiful piece of work that he's prepared, to throw down Esau. Right? Go ahead.
You got some dealing with that shock wave. This is Isaiah 24. I'm starting at 19. The earth is utterly broken. It's like the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. And I say something too on that. That's the profession of the Lord, because even this discretion is going to cleanse the earth, man.
That's right.
It just the start of this devil being destroyed is going to help the earth out from the jump, man. It says the earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgressors thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again.
Now hold up, that's one test. Imagine those 200 million missiles dropping those damn SAR bombs.
See?
And different, you got, what's some of these bombs?
Satan.
Oh, yep,
Satan
same one,
two.
same two.
The hypersonic.
The hypersonic missiles, bombs, right? That's going to cause the Earth to reel to and fro off its axis, man. That's why this has been coined the great and dreadful day of Yahweh Shema Shah. All right, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, that was.
Uh-huh.
All right, come on.
It's actually just a scaled-down version of what was theoretically possible. Although never tested, the Soviets did have plans to create a bomb that would be twice as
Well,
powerful.
hold up. That's what I was just saying. You know, which that's going to go. That right there. That's. Hold up. We going into information right here. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know what year this came. Maybe 2015 or something like that.
It's my dear.
Yeah. I mean, you ain't. If you could find it without disrupting that.
What did it say?
But I seen that
2016.
The 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Man, come on, man. Shit advanced. When you go into like the CIA and different motherfuckers like that, they advance shit every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So how this technology, man? Like the Lord, that's why the Lord said, I created the smith, to bring forth the waster and the instrument for my work. All right, go ahead.
Tsar Bomba, a bomb so powerful that it would have produced a mind-boggling 100 megaton blast, or about 6,666 Hiroshima blasts.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Hey, we crazy now? Come on, man.
That's bad.
Yep, go ahead.
Scale. Let's imagine that Times Square in New York City would be the epicenter of these blasts. You can test this stuff out yourself on the website NukeMap after watching this video. I'll provide a link for it after the end, but let's see the results first. First off, we're going to show the size of this detonation, which was caused by the recent North Korean test in 2013. Following this, here's the size of the Hiroshima detonation, which isn't really that much bigger, but let's move on to the B-83 bomb that we were talking about.
They got to bag up. See, look at that shit, man. That's just the B-83, man. Come on, man.
Say same too. Could take out Texas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Eastern Seaboard and shit like that.
See,
that shit heavy, man. And it looked like a raindrop. You know, when you consider the rain is a constant reminder. Yep. When rain drop, if you see rain drop in the water, it creates a vibration. You see that puddle. Mm-hmm. That's what that's spirit, man. Go ahead,
Right, quick precept.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will rise up against Babylon, and against them that do it in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind.
Right, and that destroying wind is dealing with these missiles, man. And you have a term called nuclear winds. Mm-hmm. See? Yep, go ahead.
Time.
No.
Continue on at verse 2.
Was that in on it?
That was pretty much it.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
But moving on past that to the Castle Bravo test, we can see how it truly dwarfs everything before it. But even that blast is incredibly tiny when we move on towards the Tsar Bomba as seen here. And then finally, for our scale, we move on to how large the blast from the theoretical 100 megaton version of the Tsar Bomba would be. The blast would be so powerful.
You get
this
the
is
point.
what the blast radius would look like if you were observing it from the International Space Station. So the question then becomes...
See that? So pretty much that, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Uh-huh. But it shows you the catastrophic, results of what can happen. Now, Ak, if you will, can you go to Wikipedia real quick?
Time. What you want to get that
what he got? Yeah.
The Doomsday. This is the Doomsday Clock from Wikipedia. Doomsday Clock from Wikipedia, and it says the Doomsday Clock is a symbol that represents the likelihood of a man-made global catastrophe.
Right, so that's heavy in itself because this is giving you a vivid illustration of the catastrophic destruction of these missiles, and it's heavy because it's a man-made. Even though we know it's Yahweh Shema Shah, but the Lord said He have created the smith. Go ahead.
It said maintained since 1947 by the members of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. The clock is a metaphor for threats to humanity from unchecked scientific and technical advances. The clock represents the hypothetical global catastrophe as midnight, and the bulletin opinion on how on how close the world is to a global catastrophe as a number of minutes to midnight. It's assessed in January of each year.
Mm-hmm.
The main factors influencing the clock are it said the main factors influencing the clock are nuclear risk.
See, what?
Nuclear risk
Uh-huh.
and global warming.
Right. Now we know which one is gonna be the what the Lord is gonna use.
Mhm.
So you can skim through that, see what you got. To give me what you got right here.
Kind of the book of Psalms 91
If
verse
there's
6.
anything else you can bring out, that cool. If not,
I just jumped into that 20 because it's 2020 now.
okay, come. We'll get this right quick.
Kind of the book of Psalms 91 verse 6. Nor, it's like I'm starting verse 5, it's like it says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor by the arrow.
Hold up. So you see what's the common theme here in the scriptures, man, is all the build up to the destruction of America. Give me Judges the 5th chapter out. All right, go ahead, read this again.
It says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
All right, now hold that and give me what you got.
This is like the wrong one. This is Judges chapter 5 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
It said, they that are delivered from the noise of archers.
Ooh, now hold up. Since when an arrow ever made a noise? You know, if you consider a bow and arrow, right?
Yep.
It's a silent weapon, man. So this is a metaphor for the destruction. Again, remember, you know, in the beginning of this lesson, we looked up that word arrow, and the word missile was there, man. All right, go ahead up.
It said, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water.
That's America. This is a place of our captivity, right? We're going to be delivered. You got to be delivered from this destruction. No way you can come out of this with your own, your own strength. Go ahead up.
It says, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even a righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
What's the point, though? We're going to be delivered from the noise of archers. All right. So now, give me what you got again.
Continue. It's like in Psalms 91 verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
Right. So what arrow is this talking about? That's talking about World War III.
Yep.
See? Go ahead.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in the darkness,
nor
for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
At noonday, which is it is pretty much interchangeable with midnight. When you look at your clock, noonday and midnight is the same thing. It's when the hands reach 12 o'clock. So in the scripture says you should not be afraid of the arrow that flies by day or the terror that come by noon. Read that again, Slacky.
It says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in the darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
See that wasteth at noonday. See that? So that noonday is again interchangeable with what? Midnight.
That's it.
All right. So now you can go back to where you had all that information.
Yeah, that's the last little paragraph. It said the clock's original setting in 1947 was 7 minutes to midnight. It had been set backward and forward 24 times since then. The largest ever number of minutes to midnight being 17 in 1991, and the smallest 100 seconds, 1 minute 40 seconds in January 2020.
Right. So this is the closest we ever been to World War III, proving that we in that time.
That's right.
We're in the time where Yahweh Shimmy outside is about to work his work. See that?
That's right.
All right. So that was it on that.
Oh yeah, you.
Yeah. You can carry that.
All right.
And since we got that, give me Job 34 and 20. Job 34 and 20.
Okay, this is Job chapter 34 in verse 20. Yeah, Job 34 and 20. It says, in a moment shall they die, and the people shall be troubled at midnight.
Right, and that's dealing with this destruction, man. You know, so you think it's a coincidence? You got the doomsday clock, midnight, noonday. Everything can be filtered through the Holy Scriptures. Matter of fact, give me that Job. It's a rain upon him. You got something?
Yeah, kind
of. Go ahead.
Come to the book of Psalms 11. I'm starting verse 5. The Lord tried the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth.
Yep.
Upon the wicked he shall rain snares,
Woo!
fire and brimstone,
Yeah.
in a horrible tempest.
Oh, that's why the Lord said, as it were in the days of Noah. Right? It rained water, but it's gonna rain fire this time, man. Go ahead, Up.
It says, in the horrible tempest, this shall be the portion of their cup.
Right. So this is how the Lord have designed Esau's demise by way of destruction, man, which is going to come in the form of World War III. All right, go ahead, Up.
God, this is Job 20 and 23.
Mm-hmm.
When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him,
Mm-hmm.
and shall rain it upon him.
Yep, it shall rain it upon him. Go ahead.
While he is eating, he shall flee from the iron weapon.
Right, and what's the iron weapon, man? Those missiles. See, go ahead.
And the bow of steel shall strike him through.
Right, go ahead.
It is drawn and coming out of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the glittering sword.
Yeah, what's that? Go ahead.
Yeah, the glittering sword shall come out of his gall.
Yeah, and then God is dealing with these silos. Go ahead.
Terrors are upon him.
Terrors are upon him. So this is how the Lord is going to bring terror to the so-called white man. It's going to be like looking in a proverbial mirror. You know, the same things that make you laugh, make you cry. All right? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. You got something?
Yeah, a little bit more. It said, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places.
Mm-hmm.
A fire not blown shall consume him.
Yeah, and that's dealing with these missiles. Right? Go ahead.
It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle.
Yep. So give me Ezekiel 38th chapter. You got something?
God. This is the book of Job 18. Let me just get to the point at verse 10. It says the snare is laid for him in the ground.
Right. Now, when you go into, you can look this up for yourself. Silos are in the ground. So that snare is laid in the ground for him. Right? Go ahead.
It says in a trap for him in the way.
In the trap for him in the way, which is in the form of those missiles. All right, go ahead.
Cut Ezekiel 38 and 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood.
Well, hold up. Let's find out what that pestilence is. Give me Zechariah 14th chapter. Lord says he's going to plead with this devil with pestilence, which I'm willing to bet if you go into that word plead right there, it should go back to Mashapat, which is judgment. You can look and make sure. Let's just see.
I think that's the same thing in Isaiah 66 too.
Yeah, I know. Yep, Isaiah 66.
So this that word plead. Let's see. Yep, Shapat.
Yep, Shapat.
Yep.
Which means what? Judge. So this how the Lord gonna judge Esau. So that cut you niggas over there in Atlanta, man. The teachers of truth. All right? Yeah, so you see that? That's spirit. This is how the Lord gonna judge Esau. Yeah, the Lord can judge Esau with so-called natural disasters. But no, man, the Lord and his justice is going to judge this man by way of those ICBM missiles. All right, go ahead.
It says, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood.
See?
And I will rain upon him.
Hold up. Pestilence, right? He said going to plead with pestilence. Give me Zechariah.
Oh, yeah, this is Zechariah 14 and 12.
Let's find out what this pestilence is. Go ahead.
And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the
people. Right, because
the
plague is a pestilence. Yep. Right? Go ahead.
This is the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Yeah, and that's going to be due to the intense heat from those missiles. Your flesh is going to consume away while you're standing on your feet. Go ahead.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes,
and
their tongues shall consume away in their mouth.
See that? So that scripture is giving you a vivid illustration of what's going to happen in World War III, which, the infamous movie clip, we always have Sarah Connor, Terminator 2, right? That's showing you the scriptures and how everything going to play out. So
that's right.
Go ahead and go back to where you at.
Okay. It says, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands. And upon me,
I will what?
Rain upon him.
I will rain upon him. See? Go ahead.
And upon his bands.
Yep, go ahead.
And upon many people that are with him.
Yep.
And overflowing rain.
Overflowing rain. That's dealing with these missiles, man. See, go ahead.
And great hailstones.
And great hailstones, which we read how the Lord is going to roll the very stone that He rolled. See, this all makes sense, man. Go ahead.
It said, "In great hailstones, fire and brimstone."
That's it. That's not talking about the afterlife hell, right? Give me what you got.
Come to the book of Revelation 16 and verse 21. And there fell upon men it's like it says, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone and about the weight of a talent. And the men blasphemed the Most High because of the plagues of the hail. For the plagues,
because of the what?
Because of the plagues of the hail.
Yeah, and that's dealing with those mills. Those hail stones is symbolic for the mills. Again, you're not gonna see the word ICB. Nah, I mean, you looking, niggas say that to show me ICB. Well, if we had that luxury, it wouldn't be faith, man. Show me America. If America was in that, everybody would be right, man. Go ahead.
Continue on. It says, for the plagues thereof was exceedingly great.
Yep. That's dealing with World War III. All right. Give me Revelation. What's that? Is that 20 and 18?
20,
I think
14, something like that.
14. Yep. Give me that real quick.
Come to the book of Revelation 20 verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Now we just read all these scriptures where the Lord is going to rain. That's going to create this lake of fire, man.
That's right.
Okay. Now you might say, well, I always was taught that hell was lake of fire. Well, the scriptures say death and hell was cast into the lake of fire. You know what I mean when they say death and hell was cast into the lake of fire? That's nothing more than saying America was cast. Death and hell is America. Death and hell is another way of saying the valley of the shadow of death, because hell is a valley. Hell is a grave. And it's a death and hell, right? So the valley of the shadow of death.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
See, come on, man. So that means death and the grave. Should I say hell, death and the grave, or the valley of the shadow of death was cast in the lake of fire. That's America. Go ahead.
It says,
read it from the top again.
It says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
This is the second death. What was the first death? The flood. Give me, I think that's Isaiah 43. It started at the top. So the first death was the flood. That's when the Lord brought about his judgment on a global scale. And you notice the two forms the Lord used to destroy the earth was cleansing agents. The first time it was water. This time he's going to cleanse the earth from this filth from the so-called white man with fire. All right, go ahead.
Isaiah 43 and 1. But now thus saith the Lord.
And 2.
All right,
don't understand. I think that's it.
All right, Isaiah 43 and 2. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee.
Right. Go ahead, see.
And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee.
See, go ahead.
When thou walkest through the fire,
see,
thou shalt not be burnt.
Those are two extremes. See, go ahead.
Neither shall the flame kindle upon thee.
So the first death was the flood. The second death was the fire. The Lord going to preserve us. He preserved the 8 souls along with Noah, right, and his family. And the first death, which is the flood, he's going to preserve the elect. And the second death, which is the fire.
That's right.
Matter of fact, give me that in 2 Peter.
Yep.
I think it's 2 Peter, that's 2.
2, yep, 2 Peter 2. God, this is book of 2 Peter chapter 2 in verse 5. It said, and spare not the old world, but say nor the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness.
Yeah, see. Go ahead.
Bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
Bringing in a flood, right? Go ahead.
It said, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with the overthrow, making them an example.
What verse is it?
Oh, verse 6. Which one?
Jump up to about 3.
Okay, kind. All right, this is 2 Peter 2 and 3. And through covetousness shall...
let me see, 4 or 5. That'd be 5. Where it said earth...
Which one? The
melt? I'm talking about 3.
You want to melt with fervent heat?
No, I'm talking about the earth reserve of water. The next one, 5.
Kind.
I think it might be in 3 then. If you don't see it in the 4th verse. 3 and 4. Yeah, 5.
Okay, yeah, kind. Yep. This is 2 Peter 3 and 5. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that the word of the Most High, it's like that by the word of the Most High, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, what by the world that was then was, being overflowed with water.
See, that was the first death.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it said this was all done by the same word. Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. It said, but the heavens and the earth, which are now
right in this time, go ahead.
By the same word,
go ahead.
Are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment.
See, so that's two different extremes.
Mm-hmm.
The first world was destroyed by water in the flood. This one's going to be by fire. All right.
That's right.
So now you got Psalm 58.
Yeah.
Hold that and get what you got. We're going to get that. So read that one more time.
Come this book of Revelations 20 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
So let's find out what created this lake. Give me what you got.
Kind of Psalm 57. Let them melt away as waters.
Oh, see, let them melt away as waters. See, let them melt away as waters. Hold that and go to 2 Peter now, the second chapter.
God.
Melt the fervent heat.
Oh yeah, kind. 2 Peter 3 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heaven shall pass away with a great noise.
That's the missiles. Go ahead.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
See? So everything gonna melt with fervent heat.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we just read death and hell is gonna be a lake of fire.
Yep.
So now go back to Psalm 58.
Psalm 57. Let them melt away as waters.
Right. So let's see what's gonna create them that melting away. Go ahead.
Which run continually when he bendeth his bow.
When he what?
Bendeth his bow.
Come on, man. When he bendeth his bow, go ahead.
To shoot his arrows.
Which is the missiles. Go ahead.
Let them be cut. Let them be as cut in pieces.
See that?
That's it.
So hey, you got something? Anybody got something else? Hey, with that, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakudash. Double honor to our teachers, the head apostles and elders, great millstones. Shalom, you brothers laboring in his work, as well as you believers out there, the Akim and the Aqua that subscribe to the truth as well. To the next time, Shalom.
Shalom. DCA, Abad Kabal.